You know, last fourth Sunday, I didn't realize how important that message being preached about what's in your cup was going to be to me. The Friday after that fourth Sunday, I had a pretty serious accident. Some of you might know about it by now, but I was on my way to just go for a walk. I was just leaving work, and I decided I wanted to go for a walk after work. And while I was on my way, less than a mile away from my house, I reached for my water bottle and lost control of my car. And the car flipped 3 times, once front to back, twice on the side, and then it hit a pole. I was thrown out of the vehicle through the driver's side window, and was pinned under the vehicle for over an hour. And I just thank God for keeping me, and being a keeper, being a savior, and I thank God for giving me a mind to talk to him in that moment, and just all the word is important, saints. The word is important. Like, it has to be in your heart, because you don't know when that time is going to come where you'll be tested, and I just thank the Lord for allowing me that whole time I was talking to him. I was conscious the whole time, but, where I was, it's not a frequently traveled road. There's not a lot of cars that go and come up and down that road, and I was on the side of the road, maybe 20 minutes before somebody even noticed that I was in the vehicle and, at the car. And even then, it took maybe an additional 20 minutes for somebody to come. But even then, it took them, longer to actually be able to get me from under the car. But the whole time, talking to the Lord. And, man, I don't want to do this. It started with, Lord, help me. Send somebody to help me, And after a while, it was, well, Lord, I'm sorry. I've fallen short, and I realized that. Thinking about all not that I do so much, but all of the areas that I've fallen short in. Things that I was supposed to do for the women's department, the young people's department. Things I'm supposed to do for that sound crazy. You pinned under a car, but you're thinking about that kind of stuff. But stuff that I was supposed to do for the media team that I hadn't completed yet. And I'm just like, Lord, I've fallen short. I know I'm short, but help me. And from that, it went to, Lord, I don't want to go like this. I don't want to go like this. And it kept going. I thank the Lord for just putting it in me. I thought about it later, and I was like, well, I have an iPhone. Like, I could have said, hey, Siri, call, if I was thinking about it. But I thought about it later on. I was like, God just wanted some glory out of this. Because if it had not happened that way, I would have been giving glory to Apple. I would have been giving glory to myself for thinking about it. Glory to EMS for responding so quickly. But to God be the glory. And again, being under that, I was under a vehicle, pinned by my face. I was on my back. I explained this to people later on, like how I thought I was positioned. I thought I was positioned in one particular way. And one of the first people on the scene was like, nah, you were in a very awkward position. And I feel that in my knees now, in my ankles. I can actually tell it was probably really awkward. But he was saying that we didn't even know you were a person. We just saw clothes. And then we tapped you and you started talking. It's like we didn't even know you were a person, but you started talking. And, I thank the Lord for, it might sound crazy, but I thank God for this. There were other people who were around. It was like, God had to be with you. People don't make it out of accidents like that. Your vehicle flipped this many times, and you thrown out of the vehicle, you pinned on your back, drinking blood for over an hour. It was God that was with you. I thank God for Jesus. I've acquired a few nicknames since then. People want to call me Superwoman and Bionic Woman and all this stuff. But Superwoman, that's a fictional character. Bionic Woman, fictional. Wonder Woman, fictional. But God is real. It was no strength of mine. I would have given out a long time ago if it was mine. But God is real. You know, in Allendale, it might mean something to somebody if I say, oh, I'm Penny Preacher's daughter, or Penny Johnson. I'm her daughter. But the only thing that saved me during that time was being a daughter of the King. It wasn't going to do me no good to say, I'm Penny Johnson's daughter. Y'all got to hurry up and get me from under the car. Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for a keeper. Thank God for a Savior. When this word is going forth today, you don't know what you're going to face this week, next week, 3 weeks from now, but it's going to take the word. It's going to take the word. It'll take the word when you leave here. Something might test you on the road, but just think about the word. Think about the word. That's why he was telling us in the convention, you got to have that engrafted word. You don't know what it's going to take. You don't know what you're going to face, but it's going to be the word that keeps you. You know, I got a couple of broken bones and a couple of scratches and burns and bruises, but I thank God for keeping me. Before I got to this meeting, my main concern was my vision. It was a little blurry, and, I still had some swelling, but I knew I needed to be in Zion. You know, Zion is the place. We hear Bishop Stoudemire say that all the time, and it's the truth. Zion is exactly where we need to be. When I got here, I couldn't see clearly, out of my left eye for maybe up to this point. If I'm looking that way, maybe a little bit. But up to this point, I couldn't really see anything. But since I got here, my vision is so much clearer. And that, again, to God be the glory. It's not about me, but I thank God for putting it in me to press. So many people since I've been here saying, we didn't think you were going to come. Where else would I be? Out of Zion come the strength. Thank God for Jesus. I'm going to get out the way. But y'all pray my strength in the Lord.